Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. We are with you this Tuesday, the 5th day of August, bringing you Morning Matters because your mornings matter. Let's get to the stories that matter today. The House of Representatives has filed a motion for reconsideration with the Supreme Court, contesting its decision to nullify the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Speaker Martin Romualdez asserted that the Supreme Court overstepped its authority, vowing that the House will not remain silent. In a bid to protect local farmers from declining farm gate prices, the Department of Agriculture is calling for a temporary halt to rice imports. Furthermore, DA is proposing a tariff hike on imported rice, seeking to raise it to at least 25% from its current 15%. And without raising member contributions, the Social Security system announced it will roll out a 3-year pension increase, with the first adjustment taking effect in September of 2025. But what does it really mean for pensioners? We'll discuss this matter later on in the program. Welcome to Morning Matters, where we talk about the issues you need to know for the rest of your day. Now, first on the agenda, the House of Representatives has filed a motion for consideration before the Supreme Court, challenging its decision to strike down the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. More in this report.
The House will not bow in silence.
That's the firm stance of House Speaker Martin Romualdez as the House of Representatives filed a motion for reconsideration on the Supreme Court's decision, declaring the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte unconstitutional.
We filed this motion for reconsideration not to provoke, but to protect, not to assert supremacy, but to restore balances.
Romualdez emphasized the Supreme Court overstepped its bounds, which is why he said the House will not remain silent.
If impeachments can be blocked by misunderstood facts or rules made after the fact, then accountability is not upheld, it is denied. To insist on constitutional integrity is not to weaken the democracy, it is to strengthen it.
The motion stresses the need to correct factual misreadings allegedly made by the Supreme Court, as well as its sudden imposition of new rules not stated in the Constitution. The House argued that all their actions regarding the impeachment were done in accordance with constitutional and legal standards. They also denied neglecting or abandoning any impeachment complaints. The House explained that the fourth complaint was acted upon within 10 session days and endorsed to the Senate. Only after its transmittal were the earlier 3 complaints archived for procedural housekeeping, not dismissal. This means there was only one official impeachment complaint initiated, endorsed by 215 congressmen and submitted to the Senate. Hence, Romualdez stands firm that only the House has the exclusive constitutional mandate to initiate impeachment proceedings. He called on the Supreme Court to reconsider its decision. The House also contends that Vice President Duterte's right to due process was not violated. Under the Constitution, due process happens during the trial itself in the Senate, not before the filing or transmittal of the complaint.
The court also said the Vice President was denied due process because she was not furnished a copy or given a chance to respond. But nowhere in the Constitution is that required before transmittal. In fact, in all past impeachments, the trial and the right to be heard take place in the Senate. To invent new rules now and apply them retroactively is not just unfair, it is constitutionally suspect.
Acting Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte lashed out at critics of his sister, Vice President Sara Duterte, over the impeachment complaint against her. In a podcast, Baste said the critics simply can't accept defeat, referring to the Supreme Court's decision, declaring the case unconstitutional. He insisted the complaint had no merit and was politically motivated. Baste claimed it was a move to weaken the Duterte family's influence rather than a genuine concern for accountability.
Ayaw nilang tanggapin, wala ka na magagawa doon. Ibig sabihin, natalo na kayo. Ayaw nilang tanggapin. Yun.
The House Committee on Public Accounts has begun its inquiry into flood control projects. DPWH Secretary Manny Bonoan gave a briefer on all flood control and drainage projects in the country. Bonoan specifically stressed the huge discrepancy in the budget they requested last year to the actual budget approved by Congress. Some congressmen, however, were displeased because they think Bonoan made the presentation look like a budget hearing.
Hindi ba ito budget hearing eh? We didn't even hear kung what happened during the last bagyo. And we know for a fact, alam na naman natin kung ano yung mga tinatamaan ng baha eh. But this is quite unusual. Ilang bagyo na tayo na malalakas, alam na natin, Marikina tatamaan, sa Quezon City tatamaan, Caloocan tatamaan. Yun ang gusto natin madinig. Ano yung naging course of action natin? Hindi budget presentation.
Punong-puno na ng basura, burak, yung mga natural waterways natin. Yung natural waterways natin, bukod sa punong-puno na ng basura, there are 646 families, informal settlers, living on top and beside of our natural waterways. Yan po yung problema, hindi yung flood control programs. We are barking on the wrong tree. Hindi yung flood control ang pangunahing problema. Ang pangunahing problema, yung solid waste management. So this is the problem. At we cannot resolve Metro Manila flood control problem without acknowledging the real cause of the problem.
Meanwhile, Bonoan is yet to say if he will indeed take a leave of absence, as Bacolod Representative Albi Benitez suggested. The DPWH Secretary earlier said he will wait for President Bongbong Marcos's order and he will not take it personally in case the instruction is to temporarily pull out of his post. Meanwhile, Surigao del Sur 1st District Representative Romeo Momo defended himself after he was mentioned by Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong as among lawmakers receiving kickbacks from flood control projects.
This should pass through the Provincial Development Council and then to be submitted to the regional office for them also to present this to the Regional Development Council. Ibig sabihin, yung mga proyekto na nilalagay nila for inclusion in the next budget ay dumaan sa scrutiny ng Provincial Development Council at the Regional Development Council. So ganun kahigpit ang pagpili ng proyekto ng isang distrito.
The Department of Justice claimed that businessman Atong hid the brother of alias Totoy in Cambodia, a key witness in the case of the missing sabungeros. More in this report.
Justice Secretary Boying Remulla revealed that Elakim Patidongan, brother of self-proclaimed whistleblower Julie Dondon Patidongan, was allegedly brought and hidden in Cambodia by businessman Atong. He also claimed that Ang provided Elakim with a fake passport to help him flee the country.
Pinatago talaga ni AA yan. Ni Atong yan. Pinatago.
According to Remulla, Elakim's testimony is considered a major development in the investigation as he allegedly witnessed the killing of 10 missing sabungeros. He described Elakim's account as the missing factor that strengthens the government's theory on the case.
Ang testimony niya, mabigat kasi directly niya nakita yung patayan ng 10. Yung 10 pinatay galing sa Santa Cruz at sa Lipa. Kaya yung missing factor, was the fact na positive naman yung lake sa marami human remains, makes the theory very, very, talagang very credible.
Elakim and another brother, Jose Patidongan, were arrested abroad and flown back to the Philippines on July 22. Elakim was captured on CCTV withdrawing money using the ATM card of a missing sabungero from Laguna, while Jose was seen in a video allegedly escorting one of the victims in handcuffs. Meanwhile, Napolcom has imposed a 90-day preventive suspension on 12 police officers allegedly linked to the case. The commission clarified that suspension is part of due process and does not imply guilt. The officers are now under restrictive custody in Camp Crame and are scheduled for a pre-hearing conference on August 14.
The Philippine Space Agency confirms that parts of the Long March 12 rocket landed near Palawan. It fell about 21 nautical miles from Puerto Princesa and 18 nautical miles from Tubataha Reefs Natural Park. The rocket was launched from China's Hainan province. While the debris was not expected to hit land, PhilSA earlier warned it could endanger ships, aircraft, and fishing vessels in the area. The agency urged the public to report any suspected debris to authorities. When we return, let's talk about the 3-year pension increase for SSS pensioners with Senior Citizens Party List Representative Ompong Ordanes. Stay tuned. Morning Matters will be back after a short break. Good morning, I'm Gretchen Ho. Here at Morning Matters, we talk about the most pressing issues and give you the context behind the headlines. The Social Security system has announced a 3-year pension increase starting September 2025, that's next month, without raising contributions. Now, each year, retirement and disability pensioners will receive a 10% increase, while survivor pensioners will get 5% more. By 2027, minimum pensions will climb to around 2,900 pesos for retirement, 2,600 pesos for disability, and over 2,300 pesos for survivorship. For average pensions, retirement benefits will go up to 7,000 pesos, disability pensions to 6,600 pesos, and survivorship pensions to 4,800 pesos. Now, at the highest level, retirement pensions will exceed 29,000 pesos, disability pensions will reach 24,000 pesos, and survivorship pensions will rise to more than 23,000 pesos. Joining us now to discuss this further is Senior Citizens Party List Representative Rodolfo Ompong Ordanes. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Congressman.
Magandang umaga, Gretchen, at sa ating televiewers. Magandang umaga po.
Una-una, kayo po ang talagang pamilyar dito sa mga computation ng pensyon, lalong-lalo na para sa ating mga senior citizens. Kayo po ba ay masaya dito po sa 10% increase for retirement and disability pensioners, but at 5% naman po dun sa survivor pensioners?
Tayo napakasaya natin. Kasi alam mo, 2020 pa ay pinapakiusap na natin sa nakaraang administrasyon na magbigay ng, kasi nakako sila ng 2,000 increase. Now, naibigay yung 1,000 at yung second tranche na 1,000 ay hindi naibigay. Noong 2020 pa tayo nananawagan sa nakaraang administrasyon, sa presidente ng SSS, at ako ay natutuwa at nabigyan ng solusyon ng ating Pangulong BBM ang matagal ng hinaing na inaasam-asam ng ating mga SSS pensioners. Salamat naman ng tatupad. Alam mo, nung panahon na yon, ang sinakatwiran nila walang pondo. Dito ko na isip-isip, pag ayaw pala may dahilan. Pagka gusto, may paraan. At ito, natutuwa ko, nagawa ng paraan ng ating Pangulong BBM na magkaroon ng increase ang pension ng ating mga SSS pensioners. Malaking bagay yan, lalo na ngayon. Ang hirap ng buhay, mataas ang bilihin. At least, nabawasan yung kanilang financial, yung tulong na financial ay nabawasan. Kaya nagpapasalamat tayo sa Pangulo na binigyan niya, sabi ko nga, binigyan niya ng patuparan ang matagal nang inaasam-asam ng ating mga SSS pensioners.
Oo, yun nga po, no, parang kung makikita niyo po, ang pinakamalaking bagay at balita po talaga dito ay mangyayari itong increase na ito without raising contributions. Kaya yun nga po parang,
Tama.
bakit ngayon lang?
Alam mo, nung Abril, sumulat na uli ako rin sa CEO ng SSS, si Mr. Robert Joseph Declaro. At pinalo up ko na naman yan. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na dahil sa aking sulat ay inaksyonan nila. Nagkataon lamang siguro, pero yun nga, lumalabas kasi sa datos ng SSS, noong 2023 ay meron silang net income na 83 billion at inaasahan na nito nga ng 2024 ay magiging 140 billion. At sa financial standing na yan, ay ine-expect natin ng SSS na ang fund life ng SSS ay aabot ng 2050 sa taong 2053. Hindi ka mukha nung nakaraang administrasyon, ang kinakatwiran hindi raw maibigay kasi pag ibinigay 1,000 na hinihiling ay mababawasan ng 7 years fund life ang SSS. Ay hindi pala, kaya sabi ko nga, pag may pagka gusto, may paraan. At yan na, nagawa ng paraan ng ating Pangulong BBM. Maraming salamat sa kanya.
Oho, ito sabi nga po ng SSS, speaking of reducing the fund life of the insurance organization, this time it will only do so by 4 years. Malaki po yung kung kukumpitin nyo po, after 3 years, pensions will have increased by approximately 33% for retirement and disability pensioners, 16% naman for death and survivor pensioners.
Tama.
Okay, this is good
So,
news.
malaki rin sa hinihingi namin na sana yung 1,000 second tranche na pinangako ay yun lang aming hinihiling eh. Pero mas higit pa sa 1,000 itong binibigay sa loob ng 3 taon. Ang medyo lugi lang hindi naman lugi. Yun ang sa pinakamababa na pensioner na tumatanggap ng 2,000 ay magiging 2,000, more or less yata 2,900. Pero okay na rin yun.
Wait, Congressman, what do you think spelled the difference here? I mean, kung yun nga po, noong 2020, nahirapan po silang ibigay yung 2,000 ng buo. Ngayon, this time around, they are giving more than 2,000 pesos, almost 3,000 increase. Ano po kaya yung nagbago at nagawa po ito sa inyong palagay?
Parang tumaas ang net income dahil marami siguro ng contributions at yung mga investment siguro ng SSS ay kumikita. Actually, maraming investment ng SSS. Hindi lang naman sila umaasa ron sa contribution ng ating mga members. So maganda pamamahala ngayon ng SSS. Kasi akala ko nga wala namang mangyayari sa ating panawagan. Pero sa gumanda ang financial standing ng SSS, kaya siguro na ibigay nila itong increase na to.
Good financial standing if you cut that short, no? So sa ngayon po ay meron po tayong 3.8 million pensioners. 2.6 million retirement and disability, 1.2 naman po dun sa survivor pensioners. Sa inyo pong sa mga constituent niyo po, ano po ang madalas na hinaing tong mga senior citizen po natin, lalong-lalo na tungkol dito sa SSS, pati na rin po sa PhilHealth, at tungkol sa kanilang kalagayan. Can you give us, parang konting situationer kung kamusta na po yung mga senior citizen po natin?
Actually, alam mo, isa lang naman ang kanilang problema. Alam mo na, pinansyal. Meron kasing mga senior citizens na umaasa lamang doon sa kanilang pensyon. Ang liit, hindi naman kultura nating mga Pilipino na kahit na tayo retirado na, gusto pa rin natin kumita dahil hindi nga sapat yung ating tinatanggap na pensyon. So, yun nga, yun ang makakadalasang hinaing, pinansyal. Sa taas ng bilihin, at hindi naman namumuhay ng komportable ang mga Pilipino pagka nagretiro na. So,
yung hindi sila mabubuhay dun po sa nakaraang pensyon. Kung kayo po ay masusunod, okay na po ba ito? Yung 7,000, 6,600 for 8, will you ask for another round of increase or sa ngayon okay na po ito?
Hindi, sa ngayon, maganda yan. Sabi ko nga kanina, ang hinihingi lang namin, yung natitira is 1,000 na pangako. Pero higit
This is
pa
more
sa 1,000.
than what is requested.
Siguro, after mga ilang taon, pwede natin yung magkaroon ng amendment muli. Mananawagan ulit tayo sa SSS na kung maaari ay magbigay uli ng increase. Yan siguro ay depende sa yung sinabi ko kanina, yung financial standing ng SSS. Kasi hindi naman natin sila pwedeng persahin kung makaka-epekto naman sa fund life ng SSS.
Okay. Congressman, kayo po ay na-re-elect for another term. What is your plan now? Ano po pong mga ihahain po natin sa Kamara?
Actually, naihain ko na yung siyam na House bills na naiakyat ko sa Senado noong nakaraang 19th Congress. At pinupus natin yung universal pension na kung magiging batas ay magbibigay ng buwan ng pensyon sa mga senior citizens. Sa lahat na po, universal, ibig sabihin, wala na pong mahirap, walang mayaman. Wala nang malakas, hindi na palakasan sa gobyerno. Lahat po ng senior citizens ay makakatanggap. Kasi ngayon, ang umiiral na batas yung social pension for indigent senior citizen na para lamang po sa mahihirap. Ang naging problema ganda po yung ating batas, pero ang problema, yung masama po implementation. Bakit kanyo? Meron dito ay para sa mga mahihirap. Pero pag malakas ka sa nag-evaluate, kahit meron kang kaya, ay nasasama ka. Yun po yung ating iniiwasan. Huwag namang mangyari. Yun nga, ipinail natin yung ating universal pension para lahat na ng senior citizens ay makatanggap na ng buwanang pensyon. Isa sa ipinail natin, naiakyat ko rin to sa Senado, yung Geriatric Act na magpapatayo po tayo ng mga hospital, regional, sa bawat rehiyon, ng geriatric hospital. Ito pong geriatric hospital ay exclusive po sa lahat ng mga senior citizens. Hindi na natin kailangan pumila sa mga hospital. Ito po yung talagang hospital para sa senior citizens. Marami po tayong ipinail. Kasama po riyan yung Scholar ng Bayan na kung saan ang ating mga estudyante ay pwede na mag-aral. At ang pondo po nito ay manggagaling sa local government. Alam po kasi, dati akong city assessor. Kaya meron tayong 1% tax sa real property tax. May income tayo ron. At yan, ay kukuha tayo sa aking panukala, ay kukuha tayo ng 30% para po sa scholarship program ng ating mga estudyante na mga mahihirap pero deserving. Ang problema kasi sa atin, meron tayong mga mahihirap na gustong-gustong makatapos ng kolehiyo. Pero sa kakapusan ng pondo, ng pera, ng kabuhayan, ay hindi nila naipagpapatuloy ang kanilang pag-aaral. At sa ilalim ng aking panukala, yung mga mahihirap at karapat-dapat na mag-aral, makatapos ng kolehiyo, ay makatapos ng pag-aaral upang makamabigyan sila ng magandang kinabukasan. At ito ay hindi naman magpapasukan ng politika dahil meron tayong local selection committee na kinabibilangan ng religious group, schools division, society group at iba-iba pang sektor, iba-ibang organisasyon, stakeholders para mapag-aralang mabuti kung sino ba talaga yung karapat-dapat na bigyan itong ating scholarship program na to. Napakaraming libo-libong estudyante ang aking nasisiguro ko na makikinabang dito sa ating panukalang batas na to. At sana ito ay matupad natin, maisabatas ngayong 28th Congress para mabawasan ang literacy problem ng ating bansa.
Oo. Ano pong levels po ito? All levels po ba? Or
No. College.
College? Tertiary education?
Kolehiyo.
Oo. Hindi ba parang meron na po tayo niyan yung tuition, may scholarship na po tayo na isa batas, di po ba? Yung Free Tertiary Education Act
wala
po ba yun?
ito kasi ang pondo kasi nito ay manggagaling sa lokal, sa LGU. Nabanggit
sa
ko kanina,
private ho.
ito yung manggagaling dun sa nakukolekta na sa real property tax o yung amilyar na tinatawag. 1%
Lalakihan
po kasi
po
niyan
kung
ay
sakasakali.
special education fund.
Mm.
Ang nangyayari po, binibili lang textbook. Kung minsan, kung may pondo, pinapagawa ng mga school building. Pero nakikita ko mas maganda kung bibigyan natin ng pansin, mapag-aaral yung mga poor and deserving students para po makatapos ng kolehiyo. Para naman makaahon sila sa kahirapan,
Yes.
magbago ang kanilang buhay.
Okay, congratulations po. Dito po sa pension increase ng SSS, we hope to see more developments like that coming our way. Maraming salamat sa
Thank
inyong
you,
oras
Gretchen,
po.
sa ating listeners. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lang.
We have Senior Citizens Party List Representative Rodolfo Ompong Ordanes. Coming right up, the Commission on Elections said that President Bongbong Marcos is expected to sign into law the bill deferring this year's Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. And to discuss the legal implications of this move, we will be joined by veteran election lawyer Romulo Makalental. Don't go away. We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. President Bongbong Marcos is set to sign into law the bill postponing the 2025 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections. That's according to the Commission on Elections. Chairman George Garcia said the signing is scheduled for August 12. The measure seeks to move the BSKE from December 1, 2025 to the first Monday of November 2026, while extending the term of Barangay and SK officials from 3 to 4 years. Now, despite this, the COMELEC continues its 10-day voter registration drive, which runs until August 10. With the 2025 Barangay and SK elections set to be postponed, questions are now being raised about its illegality, timing, and impact on voters' rights. Joining us now to discuss this, we have election lawyer attorney Romulo Makalental. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, attorney.
Magandang umaga, Gretchen, at sa iyong mga tagapanood, tagapakinig. Magandang umaga.
Yes, great to have you on our show today. Kayo po ay hindi sumasang-ayon dito po sa postponement ng Barangay and SK elections. Ito po ba ay, taking a look at the bill filed in the Senate and the House, the Senate's, the congressman and the senator said they would want to extend the term of those officials to 4 years for them to be able to do more in their own barangays and localities. Do you not agree with that in principle?
Yun na nga ang aming tinututulan dyan, Gretchen, actually, ang intention muna nila dyan ay i-postpone ang halalan at
Yes, ho.
Ang intention kasi nila dyan, ma-postpone ang halalan at ma-extend ang term of office ng mga barangay officials. Yan ay labag sa ating saligang batas. As a matter of fact, it was already decided by the Supreme Court in the 2023 Makalental versus COMELEC case. And the Supreme Court said that postponing the barangay election must be on a valid reason. In this particular case, no valid reason was raised by our lawmakers, and they made that a bill postponing barangay election. And yung masama pa rito, yung kanilang pag-postpone kay gagawin first Monday of November 2026. Yung first Monday of November 2026 ay All Souls Day, araw ng mga kaluluwa. Ito ay isang sagradong religious tradition ng ating mga mamamayan. And most of our people will be in their respective provinces on that particular date. So they would not be able to vote, hindi makakaboto ang ating mga kababayan. Yan ay isang palatandaan na hindi nila pinag-aralan yan. Yan ay pang isang ginagawa nilang dahilan. Kaya daw nila ipopostpone kasi makakasabay daw yan ng farm election sa October 2025. It only shows that the lawmakers did not really make a study of this bill. they know that barangay elections will be held by December 2025, and yet they postponed the farm election to October 2025. Alam naman nila na mayroong barangay election. Eh bakit nila ginawang October 2025 ang farm? And one thing more, dyan sa farm election, there are only 40 positions. 40 position lamang ang at stake. Kaya hindi yan dahilan para ma-postpone ang ating barangay election.
Okay, pero hindi po kayo nag-agree na dapat ma-extend into 4 years ito pong term ng ating barangay and SK officials?
Well, okay lamang na magkaroon ng new term, pero not to postpone the December 2025 and not to apply it this year. It must be applied prospectively, not retroactively. Kung gusto nila, gawin nila sana December 2025, mag-election tayo at doon nila i-apply yung 4-year term. Pero hindi pwede i-postpone ang halalaan. They should not postpone it. At pagkatapos gagawin nila sa susunod na lamang yung election. That is in effect extending the tenure of office of these barangay officials.
Correct. If they really wanted to set new term limits to the barangay and SK officials, they could do so without any putting any room for malice that this is just to postpone the elections, which is nakagawian po maraming beses na po ito nangyari.
Naging ugali na nila yan, nawili na kasi sila. Kasi ito kasi mga parang regalo ito, mga regalo ito ng mga mambabatas natin in the past election, because doon sa 2025 election, ito mga political promises nila sa mga barangay officials. In order to win the votes of the barangay officials, they promised that if they would be elected, they would postpone the election and effectively extend the tenure of office of these barangay officials. And it is our contention before the Supreme Court said that Congress cannot extend the tenure of office of our barangay officials.
Has the Supreme Court said anything about this? Because you mentioned in your column na meron na pong dineclare na unconstitutional yung Supreme Court.
Yes, that was when they postponed the 2022 barangay elections. Medyo magulo yata niya. When they postponed the barangay 2022 barangay elections, I raised that issue before the court. And Supreme Court that the postponement was unconstitutional.
In particular with the 2022 election, what was unconstitutional about that one?
Well, because sabi ng mga Korte Suprema, it violates the right of the people to choose their own leaders. Kasi once you postpone the barangay election, it is a subtle way of extending their term of office without the mandate of the people. As I said earlier, dapat ang mga barangay officials natin, they should be elected and not appointed. And once they are on a holdover capacity, it constitutes already a legislative appointment. And it violates the constitutional decision that barangay officials must be elected and not appointed.
And do you think that is the reason why this time around sinabay po ito dun po sa bill to extend the term limit nga po? Dahil meron ng ruling, yung Supreme Court, kumbaga may jurisprudence na ho.
Yes, the postponement of the barangay elections, sabi nga ng Korte Suprema noon, is a subtle way of extending the term of office without the mandate of the people. While it is titled step in the term of office, it is a very deceptive title, because it is not only setting the term, but it effectively extends the term of office with incumbent barangay officials, so that it is incumbent barangay officials will be elected in 2026, effectively 7 years ang kanila magiging term for that particular period.
Hindi po ba, ideally, hindi rin po magsasabay talaga yung mga halalan? Kasi nga, like for example, this year we had the midterm elections and then we have the farm elections. Maybe this is an effort to move yung election year ng barangay ni SK?
Well, sinasabi nila meron daw tayong farm election. They said, alam naman nila na meron tayong December 2025 barangay election. Bakit nila pinuspond yung farm election ng October 2025? Knowing for a fact that we are going to have the barangay elections in December 2025. It only shows na hindi nila masyadong pinag-aralan yan. At yung sinasabi ko na yung first Monday of November 2026 is All Souls Day. Most of our people are in the provinces.
Tinapat pa ho talaga. Oo.
No, natapat pa. Araw ng kaluluwa. Sabi nga,
Baka nga po kasi uuwi ang mga tao kaya... sa bagay, doon sa domicile po nila dapat. Oo.
Kaya nga ako nananawagan, kaya nga sa aking statement, I would like to call on the President. I want to have an audience with the President and I would like to explain to him the side of the people. The problem with the President is that he only hears the side of his political allies. He only hears the side of about 300 congressmen and about 24 senators. But he never heard the side of the people. Kaya kami, nananawagan kami ni Pangulong Marcos, bigyan mo kami ng pagkakataong makausap kayo o sino man sa inyo mga opisyales at ipaliliwanag namin bakit dapat matuloy ang ating halalan, bakit dapat na ibito ninyo ang batas na yan. Sapagkat yan ay isang paglabag sa aming karapatan. It violates our right of suffrage. It violates the right of the people to choose their own leaders. We do not want people who are appointed by the legislature to rule us in barangay level. We want our barangay officials to be elected and not appointed by our legislators.
Ideally, we should have elections done in its scheduled time. But if you take a look at the political headwinds, do you think there is a chance that the president will not sign this bill?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing the president not signing. Or if ever the president would sign it, I would say na sign it to veto it, but not sign it to agree with that particular bill.
That might be, politically disadvantageous and going against the grain, right?
Yeah. Kaya sinasabi ko nga, pirmahan po ninyo yan para ibito. Huwag niyong pirmahan para maging patas. Yung panukalang batas na yan. Sana iparinig parating naman niya sa ating mga leaders na hindi politika lamang ang involved dito, kundi ang karapatan ng taong bayan na makaboto.
Ako sakasakali po, pirmahan po ito ng presidente. What are the recourses? Will you file anything before the Supreme Court?
We have already prepared our petition against this bill. And all what we are only awaiting is the public act number. And the moment we get the copy of the law, once it is signed by the President, you can rest assured that we are going to bring this matter before the Supreme Court. And we would ask the Supreme Court to immediately act on it. Kasi time is of the essence that such particular application be immediately acted upon by the Supreme Court.
Okay, maraming salamat ho sa paglilinaw tungkol sa isyong yan at ito po ay dapat talagang mabigyan ng pansin dahil madalas parang dumadaplis lang po ito sa balita but to see it happen time and time again indicates a bigger pattern that we should look into. Thank you so much for enlightening us.
Maraming salamat.
We shall await the President's decision.
Inyong lahat. Isang malaking karangalan maging bahagi ng iyong program. Thank you.
Sa susunod po muli. Thank you very much. We have election lawyer, attorney Remulla Makalintal. Don't go away. More matters to discuss after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. The Department of Agriculture is pushing for a temporary halt to rice importation and a tariff hike to protect local farmers. Citing falling farm gate prices and the need to support domestic producers, the DA is proposing to raise the current 15% tariff on imported rice to at least 25%. The matter will be discussed with President Bongbong Marcos on the sidelines of his state visit to India. This move aligns with the administration's plan to gradually restore the original 35% tariff rate after temporarily lowering duties to ease rice prices for consumers.
Yung rekomendasyon dati pa ng Kongreso na itaas, ibalik muli yung taripa ng imported na bigas to 35% ay sinasang-ayunan ng department, dangan nga lamang yung dahan-dahan na pagtaas. So ang rekomendasyon ngayon ay i-increase siya from 15 to 25% sa ngayon para hindi masyak ang market.
President Bongbong Marcos began his 5-day state visit to India by meeting with the Filipino community there. For details, we have mobile journalist Julie Baiza reporting to us live from New Delhi. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Julie. Anong oras na dyan? At kamusta naman ng mga agenda ng Pangulo?
Magandang umaga, Gretchen. Alas 6:30 a.m. dito ngayon sa New Delhi, India. Si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, ito yung araw na pinaka-jump pa, kumbaga, yung kanyang schedule. Una, magkakaroon ng welcome ceremony para sa Pangulo na personal na sasalubungin siya ni Indian President Draupadi Murmu at ni Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Pagkatapos yan, pangungunahan naman ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos yung wreath-laying ceremony sa Rajghat o yung Mahatma Gandhi Memorial nila. Alas 12 ng tanghali, magsasagawa ang Pangulo ng bilateral meeting kay Prime Minister Modi. Doon naman, inaasahang susundan niya ng bilateral agreements at joint press statement ng dalawang lider. Sa state visit na ito, Gretchen, 6 na kasunduan yung inaasahang malalagdaan ng Pilipinas at India. Iba't ibang larangan yan, meron sa health, batas, culture at maging sa science and technology. Kahapon si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, sinabi niya na meron din lalagdaan tungkol sa social protection daw ng mga Pilipino dito. Target din na palawakin yung maritime cooperation ng dalawang bansa. Kasunod naman yan, makikipagpulong din si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos kaya Bharatiya Janata Party o BJP Chair and Minister of Health and Family Jagat Prakash Nada. Yung BJP, Gretchen, iyan yung pinakamalaking political party dito sa India, so medyo strategic din for the President na makipagpulong sa kanya. Alas 7 ng gabi, haharap naman ng Pangulo kay President Murmu. Magsasagawa naman o maghuhusi si Murmu ng banquet dinner para sa Pangulo at we're assuming na kasama niya si First Lady dito sa social event na ito.
Okay, alam natin na bago umalis ang Pangulo, nagkaroon ng joint naval drills between the Philippines and India. And we do know that we have aligned interests in terms of the maritime protection. Ano ang hinahabol ng ating administrasyon pagdating naman sa weaponry, yung BrahMos missile system galing sa kanila, di ba? Meron ka ba naririnig that will be the target of the President?
Actually, Gretchen, yung sa BrahMos, ang sabi ng palasyo or ng DFA, kumpirmahin natin kay Defense Secretary Teodoro. Actually, nandito si Defense Secretary Teodoro. Hindi lang tayo nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na makausap siya kagabi, pero inaasahan na kasama siya ngayon dito sa magiging bilateral meeting at presentation ng bilateral agreements. Kasi isa sa mga target nga is yung pagpapalawak ng maritime cooperation kasi may ongoing maritime activities na ang Pilipinas at ang India. And then sinabi din ng Pangulo mismo, i-elevate daw natin yung strategic partnership na dalawang bansa ngayong araw sa magiging pagpupulong nila.
Because just like our situation, India has been entangled in their own border disputes with China as well pala, no? I mean, if you take a look at yung kanilang coastline, they share about 4,000 kilometers of border, much of which is contested. Ano pa kaya yung mga maaaring i-leverage on dito in terms of the relationship between India and the Philippines, where we could align more?
We're thinking, Gretchen, kasi yung regional issues na posibleng talakayin nila and kinumpirma naman din ng DFA ay may kaugnayan nga sa China, no? Possible yung issues din of West Philippine Sea, yung issue natin with China since as you've mentioned, parehas nga ng situation yung India and Pilipinas sa ngayon. And very notable din na si Defense Secretary Teodoro ay kasama in this event kasi hindi naman lahat ng foreign trip or karamihan naman talaga ay sinasamahan niya. Pero may mga ugong-ugong kasi na merong dapat abangan pagdating sa defense agreement.
That will probably be one of the main highlights and priorities of the
Yes.
Philippine contingent there. Ikaw
And
ba ay
malalaman
nagtanong-
natin yan
Oo.
ngayon, Gretchen, no? Kasi alas 12 ngayon, yung magiging, alas 12 dito, so mga 2 p.m. dyan, yung magiging joint press statement.
Nakausap po ba yung mga Pinoy dyan? Gaano karami mga Pilipino ang nandyan sa India at ano ang kadalasang trabaho nila?
Sa datos ng Department of Foreign Affairs, more than 3,100 yung Filipinos dito sa India. 80% sa kanila, mga Pinay na nakapag-asawa or Pinoy na nakapag-asawa ng Indian nationals. 20% naman yung professionals. Kahapon actually pababa ng eroplano, nakausap din natin si Secretary Kakdak. Ang sabi niya wala daw mga domestic helper dito sa India kasi hindi pinapayagan ng DFA yung deployment. Parang meron pang requirement na kailangan ma-meet para mag-deploy ng DH dito. So talagang asahan daw na puro professionals na nasa tourism at saka IT na sector. And yung mga nakausap natin, kabilang doon sa mga nakausap natin, yung presidente nung parang Philcom nila dito, yung kapihan na tinatawag nila, and mga misis sila ng mga Indian nationals. Tinanong natin, ano ba yung usual struggles nung mga Pinoy dito? Ang sabi niya, talagang unang-una yung culture shock, Gretch, kasi parang sa Pilipinas, medyo uso yung humihiwalay sa pamilya. Dito daw, kailangan makibagay ka sa pamilya ng asawa mo kasi nakapisan sila. So yan daw yung itinuturo nila kapag kami mga bagong Pinoy dito. And of course, yung pagrespeto ng kultura kasi pinakamahalaga yan dito sa India. Meron nga mga lugar dito na bawal talagang yung ganitong pagla-live, yung pagkuha ng camera. Mamaya doon sa pupuntahan natin, hindi tayo papayagan na mag-record o magawa ng any live interview bilang pagrespeto doon sa mga protocols nila dito sa India. And may caution din, medyo cautious din tayo kasi marami nga din tayo naririnig na issues of catcalling. So, advice na to travel tayo by pair or at least sumakay na lang ng taxi kapag meron kang pupuntahan na malayo from your area. So yung mga ganong problema, sabi din naman sa atin nung nakausap natin kahapon na naranasan din nila. And then eventually natuto na rin na pakibagayan kumbaga yung kultura.
Tama ka, naririnig din natin nga yan pagdating sa India. Okay, ano pang aasahan natin in the coming days in the President's itinerary?
Bukas, Gretchen, magkakaroon ng business meeting ang Pangulo. Present din dito kasama rin ang bahagi ng delegasyon si DTI Secretary Cristina Roque at nandyan din sa Finance Secretary Ralph Recto. So ang India kasi isa yan sa fifth na largest economy globally. So inaasahan ng Pangulo na makapagpasok ng mga investment pledges at investment mismo patungo sa bansa para daw baka magkaroon ng mas maraming oportunidad para sa mga Pilipino.
Bukod sa mga nabanggit mo, magaling ang India pagdating sa tech. Dahil nga dun para may sarili silang Silicon Valley. So we hope we could bring something home in the line of cyber security, cyber technology, so pati na rin dun sa yung semiconductor line natin that we have been a part of. Okay? Maraming salamat sa iyo, Julie. Gaya na sabi mo, please travel in twos and take care. Ikain mo kami dyan. Mukhang masasarap yung mga spicy food there. We have mobile journalist Julie Baiza reporting to us live from New Delhi, India. The Department of Transportation and MRT3 management will offer free single journey tickets to commuters affected by tap-out errors during the ongoing pilot test of the train line's cashless payment system. Now, starting August 4, passengers with failed transactions can claim a free SJT equivalent to the maximum fare. The DOTR said a ticket will have no expiry and can be used on a future trip. The pilot, which began on July 25, allows commuters to use stored value cards, QR codes, and NFC-enabled devices at select stations. And that wraps up today's episode of Morning Matters. We hope we've given you the right start to your morning. Let's go ahead and make the day matter. My name is Gretchen Ho. We are One News, all sides, all the time.